On this episode, we share things you can actually see, do, and get for free at Walt Disney World. Today's April 23rd, 2024. This is episode 661 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and back with me today is my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. You can also catch us on TikTok at MSM Podcast. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning that trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get the advanced dining reservations that you wanted so badly. Don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. You can visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. This week is our Main Street 16 Challenge, all to benefit Give Kids the World Village. If you want to donate, you can head out to mainstreet16.com. A huge shout out to one of our wonderful partners and sponsors, Vacation Grocery Delivery. You can find them at vacationgrocerydeliveryfl.com. Get all those groceries, snacks, waters. You can even get diapers, sunscreen, pretty much anything you need from your local store delivered right to your resort. So again, check out vacationgrocerydeliveryfl.com.
Well, happy anniversary, honey.
Oh, yeah. Happy anniversary. Yesterday.
Yeah.
2 days from now.
We will have been married 18 years.
Yeah, this will be our first anniversary we're not spending in Disney World in quite some time because it's on a Monday.
But then that Thursday we're leaving for Disney.
So we'll count that, and we're gonna have a little anniversary lunch date at Haleo when we arrive on Thursday. So that'll be nice. But yeah, that's exciting. 18 years, that's crazy.
Yeah, you want to spend 18 more with me?
Yeah, more than that. I hope.
Aww.
I hope so.
I hope so.
18 would be. Oh yeah, we got to have more than that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, right now we've only been married 18.
Yes, no, another 18 sounds wonderful, and then let's do another 18 after that.
Okay. Awesome. Well, today we are talking about free, and I mean absolutely free stuff you can get at Disney.
Yeah.
And when I say free, I guess that does include, parting. You buy your ticket and stuff.
Yeah, included.
I guess, but
and we'll
not
try
that you have to pay for any more.
Right. Yeah, and and obviously some of these, especially we have it kind of broken down into a couple categories. One of those being parks, obviously. Parks, resorts, you have to pay to get there in many instances.
Yeah.
So, outside of that, though, there are some cool things at Disney you can actually kind of get for free. But before you even get to Disney, one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is completely free is using a travel agent.
Yeah, I don't think people either. I actually have been talking with clients more recently about this, and I don't think they realize that. My one client was going to Italy, and she spent 4 hours, four hours on the phone. Yeah. And I was like, Why? Why did you do that? You could have had a travel agent. And she was like, what? And I told her ours, and she thought they just booked for Disney, and I was like, no. So that's why we always try to say anywhere you want to go. Yeah. Our amazing travel agents can book this for you. But yeah, and they're considered small businesses. So you're always helping people like that. And like me being a hairdresser. Yeah. So yeah,
we're obviously pro small business, and why not do that when it's free to you? And we've talked about this before. I understand there's a lot of people that they enjoy doing the research themselves. I totally get
that's true.
They like being in charge.
She didn't like being on the phone for 4 hours.
I bet she didn't. And most people don't enjoy that aspect of it. But the simple fact is you can do the research, you can look at what you want, and you can still use, Main Street Magic Travel, and they're going to still get their commission, which Disney pays. And you still get to pick everything you want. Really, to be honest, it's not like, you get a travel agent and you have to just throw your hands in the air and you don't get to plan anything. No, you still get to plan your whole trip.
Mhm.
You know, you're letting them take care of your tickets. You're letting them take care of your resort, you know, added extras that you may want to get. And everything else really is up to you. So you can hand that over to them and support a small business and have the peace of mind when, you know, not long ago here, we had a whole bunch of summer rates drop and deals drop. Well, if you booked prior to that and you want to get those summer deals, go ahead and call Disney yourself and spend 4 hours on the phone or leave it up to a travel agent and they're going to take care of it for you. And if you're not as enthralled in the Disney world, you know, as folks like us are, you might not even know that there are deals available.
Oh, 100%.
And agents will still take care of that for you.
Absolutely.
You know, I remember times where we've had something booked and I get a call from, you know, one of our agents at Main Street Magic Travel. It's like, oh, by the way, the new deals came out. You just saved $300 on your 3 or 4 night stay or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to do anything.
Yes.
So highly recommend you go to mainstmagictravel.com. Not only fill out a form for a free quote, again, to anywhere you want to go in the world, but travel services are completely free to you. So for many people, the first free thing they get to do is a ride when they land at the airport. That's the MCO monorail.
What's that?
That's you. Well, you never get to fly in and out of Orlando, really. So, but you know, they have their own monorail that goes from the gates to the main terminals.
Oh, I saw that one time when I was flying to go see Rita. I saw a monorail.
Yeah, I was going to say, but you've flown out of Orlando. You've been on the train, their own monorail that goes from the terminal to the gates.
I don't know if I've flown out of Orlando.
You've never flown out of Orlando or arrived in Orlando for any reason?
I shouldn't be.
I mean, I didn't even think of that.
I fly out of Jacksonville to go see Rita in Vegas.
Right.
And then I'm assuming I'll fly out of Jacksonville to go. We've never looked at like Daytona or anywhere else. And I've never been in Disney World to fly out of Orlando to see her.
Yeah.
So
it's everybody's first free fun ride when they land. If you're coming in. And I'll never forget, I was headed to I've done Orlando a couple times. We were at Disney and I had to fly to New York on a Sunday morning for a work thing. Mm-hmm. And so, I flew out of Orlando because we were there. Other times, sometimes Jacksonville can be so much more expensive than Orlando that it actually makes sense to drive the 2 hours. I mean, we're almost an hour from Jacksonville's airport anyway.
Yes, we are.
So drive 2 hours instead of 1 hour. And you can look at getting a much cheaper flight. You got more destinations, more airlines and stuff.
Could also look at Daytona, technically.
Yeah. But another thing with Orlando that I've done before is before I was doing a day trip to Chicago. I had to fly there and back in the same day, which meant that I was flying at like 6 a.m. in the morning on one day. And so it was cheaper and I wasn't paying for it. So whatever is being paid for, if the company I'm working for or a client is going to pay for it, then they make the decision. So they had me drive to Orlando, stay the night before, and then fly round trip on, I think it was Frontier.
Okay.
Because they didn't have bags or anything. I had to book one carry-on, which I'm pretty sure they still charge you for. And then you have to breathe. They're going to charge you for that as well. And then if you pass gas, that's like an extra $50 fee per person. But I was flying. It was the first time I'd flown out of Orlando. Mm-hmm. And so I was kind of doing a little bit regular at that point. This was pre-COVID. You were still like 2 hours. You were showing up. I was near the airport. I woke up a little bit late because I had to get up at like 3:30 in the morning for a 6 a.m. flight. I have to get an Uber, get to the airport, and I'm running as close as can be. And I get through security. I am sweating. I'm scrambling. I'm like, I'm just going to make this flight. This is perfect. I step out of security, and then I see these trains. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, my goodness.
I thought when I was walking up, that was my gate. And so
now, Jacksonville.
Yeah. So now I'm like, now I got to hop on a mode of transportation to get to my gate. So I'm running like, it's the only thing I can compare. No, we're not going to go with an O.J. Simpson reference. That'd be awful from his old commercials. Was it Hertz? I think that he did commercials for where he's running through the airport and jumping over luggage. That was me. But instead I'll go with Home Alone. That'll be the reference I'll use. But yeah, running through the airport, I'm darting, and they were getting ready to pull the gate actually closed. The door closed. And it was like out of a movie that I was able to like slip through, and they allowed me. And I got on the plane because when you're doing,
I remember that.
When you're doing it, first of all, if you're flying, this is going off the rails quickly. If you're flying Frontier, Spirit, some of these, the rates can be really, really good. And I get it, especially if you've got like a family of 4 and you got to fly to Disney.
Yeah.
They can really be worth looking. But a couple things to note is, one, they're going to charge you for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they really, really do. They charge you to pick seats. They charge you, I believe, they may not charge for carry-on, but I believe they charge per overhead. Plus, of course, any checked baggage. And usually a lot of these flights go maybe once a day. Sometimes it may only be once every other day. So like if you miss one of these flights or it's canceled for some reason, which happens a lot with Spirit and Frontier, it's not like they're like, we'll put you on the next one in 2 hours. It could be, we'll put you on the next one tomorrow.
Right.
Or we'll put you on the next one 2 days from now. So just something to think about. But yeah, MCO Monorail. Next up, and this is something I think to take advantage of, is up until the age of 3, kids are free.
Yes.
Tickets,
Yes.
dining,
Yes.
like if you do the dining packages
almost
and all, like,
everything. I feel like,
so
which is great.
It's and by Disney's rules, make sure your baby brings their ID, their driver's license, so they know how old they are.
No, and in all honesty, you do not need a birth certificate.
No, you do not.
Because I know somebody would probably go, "Oh, ID, that's a birth certificate."
No, you really don't.
You really don't.
No. And if you go and if you're going for 10 days and on day 1 your child is 2 and on day 5 they turn 3, your whole 10 days it falls under that 3-year-old. And you take the rest of that for whatever you want. We're not going to promote or say to do anything above that. But up until 3, they're free.
Yay.
So it's a good time to take your child, though. I mean, honestly, if you're thinking, I want to take my kid around 3 years old, take them when they're 2 years and 9 months.
Yeah.
And go ahead and get them for free.
Yeah.
So you don't have to start paying. And we've said before, too, if you think under 3 is too young to take your kid, it is for them. It's not for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the parks. You have paid for your tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So these are included free.
Okay.
All right. You can't just walk up to a park and demand these items without first paying for admission.
Correct.
What's one of the first things? And we'll be getting some of these, I think, this weekend when we go.
Celebrating buttons. So what kind of button? There are 4.
What are we down to now? We have Happily Ever After, which we'll cover engaged, married, and anniversaries.
Yep.
We'll get one of those. There is birthday.
Yep.
There is first visit. And there is I'm Celebrating.
Yes.
Which is a general. So those are the 4 that they now have. So, and these are available usually at resorts as well. In fact, when you are checking in at your resort, if you go there before a park, ask them for a button.
Yep.
Whatever it may be, a birthday celebration.
And sometimes they will ask you, is there anything you're celebrating?
Yeah.
So
when we get there Thursday, let's go ahead and pick up some Happily Ever After buttons, and we'll get that for our 18 ears that we are celebrating.
And then we could get celebrating.
Well, we're going to get celebrating. So we did this last year for
Give
the
Kids
challenge.
the World.
Yeah, for Give Kids the World is we were given a list by Give Kids the World on what Wish families and Wish kids were there that week while the challenge was going on. And then every team got a kid. And we went to Disney Springs, and we're going to do this again. We'll have to do this on Thursday while we're there.
Okay.
And we went to the guest services and just said, hey, we have an odd request, but what's the maximum amount of celebrating buttons you can go ahead and hand out to us right now? And here's why. And so they collected a bunch, gave us tons of them last year. We're going to try that again this year. We'll write Wish Kids' names on them, give them to all the teams along with them to race, and just the whole weekend. It's none of our first visits, so we can't get one of those. And then it's not a birthday, but we'll get at least 2 of those. So, but they're great, and they're it's so cool, the interactions that you'll get. And these are wonderful for kids as they're walking through the park, especially on birthdays, and everybody's wishing them happy birthday. Yeah. And that goes beyond just cast members. It's the guests and all too.
Yeah, so it is. Sometimes it is neat. Somebody will say happy birthday, and sometimes I get in the mood and I'll do it too. Yeah. And it's fun. It is.
It's great. So highly recommend those. Get those parks or resorts. As far as I guess souvenirs go, you can get not only the celebrating buttons, but there's also free souvenir that you can get within park maps. Yeah. That are collectibles to a lot of people.
I just started to say sometimes they really are, like when Galaxy's Edge opened and Hollywood Studios put that one out, and the reason, if I sound a little funny, I keep like looking around Jeremy's office because I mean, that's what he has. So, but yeah, they're super cool. And then, every not every flowering garden, but yes, but every festival at Epcot,
Yeah.
not only do you have like your park map, but you have your little booklet.
Yeah.
You have not kept all of them, correct?
No,
over the years?
I have not.
Praise God.
No, I might have a box somewhere that has some old ones, but I
Oh,
didn't
my
really
goodness.
hold on to those. And I don't hold on to park maps unless they're, something special, grand openings, anniversaries, like the 20th anniversary
The
of
Animal
Kingdom.
and Joe Rohde signed it.
Yeah, so things like that. But they're a great memento and souvenir to bring home. Kids love them. I mean, kids love maps.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason. I think they still love them. I don't know. I haven't been a kid for a long time.
Yeah,
Now,
you
I mean,
haven't.
you could just look at it on your phone. But in all honesty, the thing is, too, when you're there, like a map is the easiest thing to reference
Yeah.
when you're trying to get somewhere. Where it's just
Yeah.
in your pocket, it's folded up in your back pocket, you pull it out, you look at it, it's quick. Instead of pulling up your phone and trying to find it and look at maps on your phone and trying to zoom in and zoom out, figure out where you're going. But go, you get there and you get a Disney Springs and each of the 4 park maps, and you come home and maybe you have your, key cards because maybe you didn't do magic bands, but you still got the key cards mailed to you, or your luggage tags. Heck, before you arrive, luggage tags are free. When you're booking like those packages and
Yay.
all, they'll send those to you. So magic bands aren't anymore,
No.
but you can go ahead and get the luggage tags, and maybe
Can't
you take
get 'em
all those.
cheaper or something?
Yeah, you can get
or-
the discounted magic bands for
Okay.
pre-arrival, but even like the luggage tags, your keys that'll go to your room and get you into the park, and then maps. You take those, come home, you put them in a shadow box with some other things that you might collect along the way,
Yeah.
and they make pretty good little souvenirs. What's something that I think we need to put this on a list of things we've never done, and you should get this when we go
Oh,
and
what
we
is-
visit Magic Kingdom.
What is it? Pixie dust at Sir Mickey's?
Yeah.
What's that?
You
I
can
want-
you can go in. You don't know. That's where you go in, and they will pixie dust with their wand in your hair, and you get the little pixie dust.
Oh, I
So,
wanna do that.
Yeah, they'll do that over at Sir Mickey's, right there, which is on the other side of the castle.
Yeah.
As you exit the
I know where Sir
Cinderella
Mickey's
Castle, it's
is.
on the right there. It's the
Yeah.
gift shop, and you can go up and ask for pixie dust, and they will give that to you.
Okay, I'm gonna.
And we've
do
never
that.
done it.
No.
So let's add
That's
that
what-
to the
wow.
list.
I didn't know.
This is more within park because there are the meet and greets, but you can certainly catch characters around the resorts sometimes. They are not going to sign autographs at the resorts.
Okay.
They will in park when you get in line for the meet and greets and all.
Yep.
So autographs are included. They are free, and it's another great souvenir.
Yes, it is. And if you already have PhotoPass, you get that PhotoPass, and you can, when you get home, you can print some pictures.
Yeah.
From Walgreens or wherever you locally print from, and sometimes they're really cheap. And then, yeah. Now I know this is not considered free and everything, the pictures with it, but it's
Well, PhotoPass photographers will take a photo of you, your family, whoever, in meet and greets for free using your own device. So that is something that is technically free. You do not have to now they're not going to be usually at the quality of the PhotoPass. They're, this is not what they're set up for. They are set up to be professional photographers with their DSLR cameras and all of that. But you can get some wonderful photos if you don't want to spend the money for Memory Maker.
There is a little bit of a time limit, but if you get back and get those pictures printed, they're really neat and good and something to have. And I mean, I love looking back at ours. We actually just did recently. Jeremy printed a whole bunch of them for us, and that was really fun. So
Yeah, and they have autograph books that you can get that will have on one side for autograph and one side for photo.
Yep.
And those are really cool to get because if you're real gung-ho about you have Memory Maker or PhotoPass, or you're just having the cast member take it with your phone yourself, and that themselves, I mean, that'll also include these new automated photo boxes. There's still going to be a cast member on hand that is a handler that
Which
will
is
still take
nice.
photos
Yes.
for you because you don't know what you're getting with those. They might as well just put a box of chocolates there. You never know what you're going to get.
yeah,
But
You might
it's a
get
really
something
cool.
better with your
I mean,
phone.
autographs are some of the best souvenirs.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
we have books that have been filled up all throughout the studio here that are just fun to go back.
It is, but I think our friends Claire and Russell were, to me, almost the most genius.
Mm-hmm.
She got this really pretty smaller backpack for her young daughter off of Amazon, a real pretty like pearly white color and like shimmery in it, and they got all the characters to sign, and she can use that at school, and it's just fantastic because you know we have books somewhere around here, I don't know where, but I mean I can't tell you the last time I looked at that. I can tell you that I looked at our pictures, but unfortunately I can't tell you the last time I looked at actual photographs of the autographs of the characters.
Well, here's one of the big giant downfalls of technology is that you rarely look at your photos anymore. Like I actually miss the days where, you know, you developed film and you kind of had to, I mean, you were surprised. Well, you were surprised at what you got, but then you actually looked at them because you didn't have another way. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, now, and certainly technology's come far enough. Like I was looking for a photo for something this morning of the girls at Disney, and I could literally type in my phone now on my iPhone. I can do a search on the photos and do Disney and like Kaylin. And my phone knows who she is and does basically like fit and is able to pull up a photo of her from whenever. So, but you're much more like, we have all these ones we got done on Shutterfly, all these books that we used to get done every time we went. And we were taking those with our phone or a digital camera at the time, but then I would upload them and I would actually get them physically printed. And I love breaking those out. Mm-hmm. You know, right now, because they're also there. Yeah. Like, and I recommend doing this when you get home from your trip. Yeah. Right? Is find a way, whatever it is, whether you use Shutterfly or like Rhonda said, you just send them to your local Walgreens and put them in a regular photo album you got off Amazon, or you buy one while you're at the, you know, at the parks and Disney and stuff, or your resort, but do something with them because when they're in your face or they're on a shelf, you're much more likely to pull them down and take a look at them than when they're just in your phone, you know? And of course we're lucky enough to go so often, but if right now, I was like, you know, I'd really love to see the photos from Main Street 16 Challenge last year. I can go find those in my phone, but I have to think I want to see those. And then I got to go on my phone. Yeah. And I've got to, you know, scroll back to that date or do a search and pull them up and then sit next to each other and scroll through them or whatever, or cast them to the TV. But if you go and you grab a book off the shelf and just look at them, like, it's the best.
Sounds like you need to make Main Street 16 books.
You know, I never will. That's the thing.
Well, speaking of this, and back to you saying to film develop, I did not tell you the story. Rita and I were just she needed to sit, and we were sitting on a bench just hanging out, waiting for you and just talking. And this couple asked me to take a picture. And when they handed me the camera, it was the actual camera you can buy, I think, at Disney, which is wind and snap.
Yeah, the disposables. We have them. We still have the one. Do you remember we got them with Lucy and Caleb? and our whole thing was, we'll use these during Jollywood nights and we'll take photos like it's old timey. We didn't. We took a couple photos. It's in one of our park bags.
We need it.
So we need to break it out and
use it this weekend.
Yeah, and let's use it. Try and use it this weekend because we need to pack now for this weekend. And so
but
that's
it was
funny
so
though. So they
weird
really,
because she handed it to me and I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, okay, 1, 2, 3. And it was literally just this little click. And I was like, oh, that's right. And then I just handed it back and I'm like, okay, I hope that was good.
Remember when that was a big thing at weddings?
Oh yeah.
That you would,
we did that 18 years ago.
We sure did, didn't we? Yeah. What a dumb idea in general when you're young and have a bunch of stupid friends. You're like, hey, let's put a camera on a table for everyone that has no digital thumbprint or technical link back to them. And then let's give them a bunch of alcohol. What could go wrong? You're going to get pictures of people's butts. That's what's going to happen, or worse.
Well,
it's just
or
what
just
happens.
Stupid pictures,
or just stupid pictures.
Yeah,
because you can't see them. That's. I mean, think about that. Okay, I still feel like we're in that generation that is really going from a technological technology standpoint to, nothing to everything amongst our lifetimes,
Yeah.
right? Like our parents, yes, they have social media and they have technology now, but them growing up really throughout most of their life did not have all this stuff. And now they do. And a lot of, some older folks are good at it. Some aren't. Our kids grew up only technology. We've kind of spanned everything. Like you used to answer a phone inside your house and have no idea who was on the other side.
Yes.
If I get a phone call now, it tells me who it is. And I still have a panic attack, so I can't believe that we used to do that. You used to take a photo with zero idea
if it looks good,
how it was going to look, except for your initial looking through that lens finder going, this looks pretty good, but there was nothing. And what you captured though was legit what was happening.
Right.
There was no portrait mode.
Right.
There was no
filters,
there was no filters.
Nothing.
There was nothing.
And you couldn't go, I don't like that one. Let's redo another one.
Yep.
So, I mean, you just would hope that everybody had their eyes open. You would just hope. I mean, even your mom has been like, let me see that. No, I look like I have, she calls it chicken neck.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope, I don't like that. And I'm like, and I mean, even me, the older, like, I'm like, okay, take it
once
from
you get
higher.
over 40,
once you
get over 40, turkey neck, I guess it'd be more like, or chicken neck. They both got weird necks. Turtleneck. It could be like anything. Yeah, you got all that extra skin and stuff. It's not gonna look good. But that's where you that's where you take photos while you're looking up. You got to stretch out the neck portion as soon as you get older. But so yeah, you can do that. Let's talk stickers.
Okay.
Lots of the cast members will have stickers
for young
kids.
If you're lucky, you can get one with an adult too.
Yeah. You definitely can. We've gotten stickers before. And so, but they're fun to collect. Yeah. That's another thing. You look at these autograph books. We have stickers throughout a lot of them that, the cast member or the handler might have given us a sticker while we were waiting or something. Just kids love stickers and bubbles.
Yes.
If you want to entertain a child, you give them stickers or you just do bubbles. And it works on Rhonda too, which is nice. Kid Cot is
These
wonderful
are
for the
great.
kids.
Yes. And now this is just an Epcot, correct?
Yes, you have this in Epcot throughout the World Showcase.
Yes.
And you get like a little memento from each of the countries that has facts. It has activities about that culture, traditions of the country. There's coloring involved. I believe you can still get the little passports for kids.
Oh.
And so that's something, again, that's included with your park admission. One of the ones we talk about, especially is it's getting hotter and hotter here. We're hitting 90s now. We're getting to those times. Summer is upon us. What is a great free perk?
I love it. It's the ice water. Yeah. But I'm born and raised Florida, so I love and don't mind it all the way it tastes. People don't like it. I don't think still, if you realized you can bring anything into the parks, like water bottles, like Yetis, anything you want to carry, or if you have a stroller, because I had my my new little Stitch cup that I got, and Rita looked at me and was like, oh, I didn't know you could bring that in. And I was like, yeah. I remember years and years ago, I actually asked, you can bring food, pizza if you need, whatever you can fit. And just that helps too. But a lot of people, if you are a particular water drinker and you're okay with the free ice, they will do just free ice.
Yeah, they will. And honestly, with the free water, I know everybody doesn't love its taste. One, if you need it, you need it. Just get hydrated. And two, you can bring, the little flavor packs, those little squirts like Mio, I know is one that actually is pretty flavorful. And you could still take those and squirt them in the water, and that's something you can get as the free water. All Rhonda talked about, the festivals that are at Epcot are included in the price of admission, including the concerts.
Yep.
We got the Garden Rocks, we got Eat to the Beat, we have the Candlelight Processional, which is included. And of course, you can pay extra to do dining packages. You have the Broadway concert series during Festival of the Arts. All of these are included in the price of admission, and something to really take advantage of as a free perk to your park ticket. Yep. Because in reality, now I know that there's flex pricing on tickets, and they are more expensive during busier times, which can often be these festivals, but they're not flexing them based on who is at the festival performing at one of the concerts. So it'd be one thing if you said, and again, that's where they make their extra money with the dining package. But technically, all right, Hanson's coming. If the park ticket is still the price of a park ticket. It's not as though it costs more because the festival's going on or Hanson is playing. So technically it is included and it is free.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All right. One thing you can buy a book online or you can just look on your own. This is throughout the parks and resorts, but a ton during the parks. What is a fun game for all to play? It is a free activity.
Hidden Mickeys.
Yeah.
And
it's still fun.
It still is. And it's so funny because I find myself when I have played it, I see it in everything.
Yeah.
There's, I haven't told you this yet. I should have, but, cause when we were at the beauty supply the other day, when I walk into it, I always look down. And I feel like walking in there, I don't know if it was gum before, but it's just this imprint black on the sidewalk. And it, to me, looks like a little Mickey. And I was like, oh, and it always kind of makes me smile.
Yeah, because I learned you look down when you walk.
Yeah, I do. Of course.
But I don't know that everyone does this.
Okay,
this is one I'd like to hear from people. When you're in general, if you're out for a walk, where are your eyes spend most of their focus?
I look up and around, I'm either gonna fall, I'm gonna trip, I'm gonna step in or on something.
But are you constantly looking at the ground?
Pretty much. This is where I found money. I found lots of money on the ground.
Where are you walking?
I don't know, but I
You
have.
just mean in general?
Yeah, I found
over the course of your 44 years. How much money have you made over 44 years looking down at the ground while you walk?
Probably about $80 or so.
$80 over
Maybe
44
100.
years. So this isn't a get rich quick scheme.
No,
is what you're telling me.
No,
this is a get rich never scheme.
Yeah. I'm not. It's not
I should look down more because I was walking one morning and I tripped on the sidewalk.
And you step in things too.
Yeah, you could. But I'm always worried about stepping on a danger noodle. I did that once. I stepped on one while I was walking.
Okay.
So if I had been looking down, though, I would have avoided such catastrophe in my life.
Yeah.
All right. We don't use this because I think it's clunky and I think it's stupid. But they do have a free Disney Play app.
Oh.
I mean, I maybe it's one of those times we look at it again.
I started to say it's been a very long time.
Yeah, this is not a time killer for me. Kids may like it. It's got games in there. It's got music. It's got it's got all kinds of stuff in it. But I feel like it's one of those things that Disney had this genius idea to develop something that they would basically never improve upon again. And they just let it go. And not let it go, like go away. Like they're just like, hey, we made this Disney Play app. Here's the things it does. And then 8 years later, they're like, yeah, it's still the exact same app. I wish they would develop more in interactivity update. And, I don't think they've done anything with it.
Okay.
So if that's not a selling point, folks, go download it now. What's really fun to do at Animal Kingdom, and this is great for kids. You can do it as an adult. This is a slowdown. And here's what I love. Okay. You go to the festivals and you buy those scavenger hunts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they come with a little prize at the end. Usually decent enough, but you got to pay for them.
Yeah.
What is completely free at Animal Kingdom that is in fact very much a scavenger hunt?
The Wilderness Explorers. This was super fun when the kids were really young. Yeah. You stop in right after you get to basically see the Tree of Life. Mm-hmm. And it's just over the hill and starting to go down. And right on your right. Mm-hmm. And they swear you in for a Wilderness Explorer. And it is really, really cool. And when you ride the safari, I love that it's like for those explorers. Mm-hmm. It's just really cool.
So what is it?
So it's this little book and you find your way through Animal Kingdom to all these different cast members that are around, and they explain and tell you, and you get badges. So like Boy Scout, Girl Scouts. I think of what's her face from Phineas and Ferb that has the badges. Yeah. I feel like she's a Wilderness Explorer. And so you go through, and then at the very end, you go back and you get your last big sticker,
Yeah.
quote unquote badge.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun,
It's
though,
cute.
and you learn a lot. It's
You
another
do.
one of those, like the scavenger hunts that they do at Epcot. You're going to see things you might not take time to see. You're going to
Mhm.
slow down. I know there's things, you'll see different things like, different little skulls from animals. There's a
I just showed
tarantula.
you learn things.
Yeah, you see like a tarantula.
That's where we found the
like-
bat house,
Mhm.
and we got the
They'll actually give you
things
plans
to make it.
for a bad house. and
Jeremy
then I
made it,
Yeah.
but he doesn't
We've
hang
been
it up.
I know we've been over this. It's got to go like 30 or
I don't
40
care.
feet in the air.
I want it to go up.
The logistics of getting
Okay.
it that far in the air are interesting to me.
I think you should work on that.
I think if we had a 2-story house and we could put it on like the back side of the house, it would work, I guess. But you're talking about getting a 30-foot like metal pole that would
Okay.
attach to our fence and then be that far in the air. So,
Okay.
but Wilderness Explorers, it really is.
It's super fun.
It's a lot of fun, and
Yep.
kids love it.
It's been
it
a
is-
very long time
it has
since we've
been.
done it.
Yeah, since the girls were little, but
Yep.
it's one of those, it's very educational,
Mhm.
but interesting.
Yeah.
It's a lot of really fascinating facts that you'll learn about animals and, conservation and all those types of things by going through it. Also over at Animal Kingdom, you can take the train over to Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yeah.
And what can you do over there?
Well, not only can you pet animals, which is super cool.
Mhm. There's a petting zoo.
Uh-huh. But they have the animation experience at the conservation station. And that's inside.
Mhm.
So if you're hot, this is a great place to go and try to the train
Relax.
ride is not hot. It's
Yeah.
a little on the
I love that
cooler
little train
side.
ride.
Yep. And then when you get over there, you can get inside, and that is very cool in there. And sometimes they have real live animals out.
Yeah, the veterinarian. Well, first of all, they have the vets that are there. Also,
'Cause there was a snake.
there
one
was.
time. and you
And
were like,
so
nope.
I walked in the door and then I walked out the door. Also, if you go to the bathroom at the urinals, they have interesting animal facts. So, if you are at the urinal in the men's bathroom, in front of you is a little like placard, and it's got a door, like a hinge thing on it, and it'll say like, how much do? Why do I feel like this was literally one? One of them, I think, was like, how much do rhinos pee, or something.
Are you being
I swear,
serious?
it probably used some other terminology, but I'm pretty sure it was. But then you flip it up and it gives you the answer.
Oh.
It's a lot.
So
They pee a lot. Do you remember when we saw that rhino peeing?
yes.
I was like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, you were.
It was one of the happiest times of my life because
Okay.
it just kept going. We got caught up. We were coming around the rhinos on Kilimanjaro Safari, and the
Mhm.
rhino was alleviating himself. And we slowed down because I think like another rhino or something was maybe in the road, or another animal was in the road. So we really slowed down. It took some while. And this thing peed for like 4 minutes straight. It was like the scene from Austin Powers after he got thawed,
Uh-huh.
but in rhino form.
Yeah.
It was a lot,
Mhm.
man. But the animation experience, or the what was it called again? Animation experience is a lot of fun. They have a Disney animator that is up on stage, and they'll do this sometimes during Festival of the Arts at the American Gardens Theater there in Epcot. And they give you paper
Oh, that
and a
is fun.
clipboard
Yep.
and pencil,
Yep.
and you get to follow along on this big screen as the animator draws different Disney characters live. And
Mm-hmm.
it's super cool to watch them break down the shapes, how you do it. And then that's you got that little keepsake to come home and, frame and put up somewhere if it looks okay.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's fascinating to me. And it just shows how talent, like people just have talent
Of course.
that others don't, that you can watch somebody
It looks easy.
that they're going, all right, first you're going to take your pencil and you're going to go from this line and draw like a quarter circle to this line.
Mm-hmm.
And then they lay out every last move for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end, you're still like, oh, mine looks like garbage. What happened? Like, how did I not get this to look good
Uh-huh.
when I followed step by step? Like,
Yeah.
so it's pretty fun though. What is a really cool free thing you can do over at Epcot?
They brought it back, and it is in right by Creations, and it is Club Cool in the Coca-Cola store.
Yes, you get all these different free samples of Coca-Cola products and sodas from around the world.
Yep.
And you get the world famous Beverly. is there.
Yeah.
If you want to try Beverly.
Yep.
I had some when we popped in there.
You did?
When
With Rita?
Yeah, when Rita was getting her Coke.
What did you have? You had Beverly?
No, I did not get Beverly. I'm trying to remember which ones I had. I think I had a watermelon one. I'm trying to remember where that was from. I mean, you can get stuff from, all around the country.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are usually fruit flavored. And there's some good stuff in there. Like there's some legit good sodas in there. And then if you want to expand that, you can go to the Coca-Cola store up at the rooftop area in Disney Springs and get a whole bunch of different sodas and try a whole bunch of stuff there too. So they have those soda flights there. Well, you have to pay for that, yeah. But I'm saying if you want to like expand on your tasting, free tasting experience,
okay,
you can do that.
Yeah.
One thing that might be little known or well known, they have this is free, first aid and baby care centers in all of the parks.
Yes.
And these are great if you simply need to get out of the heat and relax, especially with little ones. If you need just say Band-Aids.
Yes.
If you need minimal first aid care.
And if you do ask, unfortunately, a cast member like in the way back of the park, they are going to tell you to come over to first aid, unfortunately. So it's one of those things where, if you have a stubborn teenager and they're going to wear their brand new shoes, it might be smart to stop in there on your way in, and then you can just carry them. Ask for some because they're going to need some or something. I don't know. But, it is also free because if you are at the back of the park, you will have to come
Did you ever
back
say
up.
Band-Aids?
Yes.
Oh, you said the word Band-Aids?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay. I blacked out for a second.
Oh.
Yeah, you can get Band-Aids and all there. You were going off of what I said. I don't think you mentioned Band-Aids. We'd have to roll the tape back, but.
Okay. It'd be like, what's his face on the genie?
Yeah. Yep. Roll it back. But yeah, I mean, the first aid centers, you can get water there as well. It's a good spot to know that it's available. Diapers. If you did not pack enough diapers in the baby care centers, you can get different stuff like that there. I believe you can get aspirin, Tylenol, a couple things like that. So, these are all things you want to usually have in your park bag.
Absolutely.
If you can, but it's understood, like, we don't pack them.
No.
Because it's not something we often need. So the fact,
do what we say, not what we do.
It's basically this whole podcast. Like, the animation experience is so fun. Everyone should do it every time they go. We haven't done it in like a decade, but maybe now we're getting back to the basics, right?
We are.
Let's move on to resorts. Let's talk about something that is available at the resorts for free that is not available at most other places throughout all of Central Florida, including that place down the street, Universal.
Well, I'm going to say the word parking, but they were charging for a little while.
Not anymore.
And
Free
they
parking.
did let it go. Let it go.
I mean, think about the fact. This is insane. With everything that Disney has either taken away or charged extra for, or for all the changes they have made, they implemented parking fees at the resorts and then took them away.
Yeah.
Like, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
That really, really is. So
I think they got a lot of backlash from that. I remember even you saying, raise my room night $5, $10, $15 a night, and I won't even know, and just give me free parking.
Yeah.
So.
They already do it with the resort fees, where Disney no resort fees, because the resort fees are built into the cost of your room, basically, where everybody else does those line items of, here's your room rate, here's your resort fee, here's your parking.
Swan and Dolphin.
You can spend an extra $60 a night there on resort fees and parking.
Yep.
I know most of the hotels over at Flamingo Crossing offer free parking, but I believe some of them have even started to charge. And then, of course, if you are staying at a Disney resort, you get free parking at the parks as well. Mm-hmm. So if you are driving or you have a rental car, that parking is included at the parks as well, which is a great free benefit.
Yes.
What are a couple different things you can do at your resort that are all included and completely free to you?
I love the campfires. If you do bring your own or get from Vacation Grocery Delivery, you can make s'mores. They do sell them, but the campfires are neat. Just to kind of go and sometimes just see and just watch and hang out at. Super fun.
Even down to the value resorts.
Absolutely.
They have them. I think of the one we were just at Sports. One of the ones recently, I remember seeing the fire pit, and I'm just like, that's right. They've got like legit fire pits here. So, and when you rope it into somewhere like Fort Wilderness, you have the campfire sing-along.
Yes.
And then all those campfires are lead up to one of my favorite things to do at the resort.
And that is movie Under the Stars.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Depending on your resort, it will definitely depend on where your movie is, quote unquote, under the stars. A lot of them are literally right there at the pool. They have a blow up little screen, which is not little, but super cool. And then like one of the All Stars has its own dedicated movie.
Yeah,
Under
I think
the Star,
it's movies.
which
and
is
it's like
super
the real
cool.
room or something like that, where it's an indoor space dedicated just for the movies.
But outdoor.
Yeah, it's open air.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's covered.
Yep.
Which is super nice.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of these, when you have them, I still think Boardwalk has one of the best locations out on that lawn where they blow it up there and you can bring, towels down from your room, or if you brought beach towels or something, go down, sit on the lawn, enjoy a movie. Man, do you remember when Pop Secret was doing that collaboration and partnership with Disney, and they would give a free full size, like buy in the store. Those things got to be $5-6.
Probably.
Pop Secret popcorn. They did buttered kettle corn and maybe just plain salt or something. They had a couple different ones.
I think they had 3, like you just said.
And you could go to a movie every night of your trip and get a full bag of popcorn and snack on it there, or take it back to your room. We'd bring them home sometimes.
They were giving them just to every single person.
Yeah.
It did get to the point where they did do one per family.
Yes.
Which was making more sense, because when they were doing each per person, that's when we were like, we'll take them, because they don't go bad and you can wrap it back up and have more. So it was great.
Bins.
Yeah.
Just filled with these things.
It was
like
amazing.
Those laundry bins.
Yeah.
Just filled with bags of Pop Secret. I miss that. I do. There's so many things I do miss about like old Disney. So that's a lot of fun. And then they have the poolside activities.
Yep.
These are available at all Disney resorts.
Real quick, going back to the movie Under the Stars, if it rains, if it storms, there's usually at every resort, there's always a backup of some
most of them
sort.
are. Yeah, it's a lot easier at places like Coronado, because they have the convention center rooms. They'll put them in one of the ballrooms. But a lot of times they'll have a backup plan, but not everywhere. So sometimes you might miss out on those.
Okay.
And, first of the month, they put out the new resort activity guides at each resort. If you follow any of the magical guide groups that our friend Tammy runs, they are quick to make sure that they have themselves or a guest post. And there's one for all the different resorts, all the different parks. Just look up the magical guides on Facebook. Those groups are outstanding. And if, for example, like right now, I know when we get off, I can go to their Saratoga magical guide group and I can look up resort activity guide and already get it before we get there if we wanted to plan for, well, you know what? I think Thursday night we'll go see a movie Under the Stars because this is what's playing.
Sweet.
So you can go and check all those out. But yeah, poolside activities, now they are going to increase on kind of the amount and the level that they do them based on, your value, moderate or deluxe.
Yep.
But this is everything from like hula hoop contest to bingo to trivia to
completely free to costing some money.
Yeah, some of the things like tie-dye shirts and all.
Right. And also the step up you go from, value to moderate. Sometimes they have more that are A, free, and then B, that do cost.
Yeah.
I'll never forget staying at Animal Kingdom. We have stayed DVC and non-DVC there.
Because DVC has the hospitality
Yes.
rooms usually that have some included items and crafts and some different things you can both pay for and that are free. But even without DVC stays, they're still.
Yes. And the one time we did stay at DVC and we were in that room and it was a Florida rain where it was set in and it was going to rain like almost all day. And we just had nothing else to really do. So we were in there quite a bit. And I mean, jewelry, but all this was being paid for. But another time when we were not DVC, again, it was raining, and over by the pool, there's that walkway to the food court, and under there's some.
Now I remember. Now it's coming back to me.
There's some
100%.
Girls
got their face painted.
There was face paint. They
right
had
by the
some
arcade
activities.
and outside of Mara.
Yes.
I totally remember that now.
I think there was maybe a slime making, so they got face painting, I think, for free.
Yeah.
And then there was something that was very and what's nice about all these activities to me, I mean, they're just cheap.
Let's say this. They're basically covering the cost of materials.
Yeah.
Not that Disney needs to.
Correct.
But I get it.
Right.
You know, if you're making a keychain
Yeah.
that you would go and buy all the materials for $10 at Michael's craft store, they're charging you about $10 to make
Yep.
that keychain.
Because we did that at
This isn't a big line item on there. Wilderness Lodge.
Lodge.
Yeah, we made
Yep.
the paracord.
Yep.
Because we're all set. I don't know where it is. So as of right now, you know where your paracord is? That one you gave to Lacey.
I know where it is.
I forget which. I got to get mine and
You
make
gotta
sure we have
find
it this
yours.
weekend because we're staying at the Treehouse Villa in Saratoga. And I feel like there might be a need at some point to break out a paracord to save someone's life. If I need to fashion a tourniquet. I mean, we got the Frasers with us and Chuck. We don't know what he's going to do. This thing's lifted. This thing's off of the ground.
It is, but it's not like we're not like which I wish we would. They should like put where no, because Disney couldn't because of the lawsuits and stuff. But they should like it's not like Swiss Family Robinson.
No,
where
it's a raised
right.
It's a raised
but
individual.
Could you
building.
imagine if it was, and then at night we could pull up like, oh gosh, that'd be fun.
At the end of the night, you've been all day in the parks, and your idea of fun is to unravel a paracord keychain
No.
and then climb up a tree into your...
No, not the keychain. Remember in Swiss Family Robinson where they lowered the
like the pulley system and
yeah,
stuff? And
but they lowered it down and then they lowered it. They brought...
Okay. But hey, if anybody gets in trouble, I've got us covered. Tourniquets. I mean, it is a race day on Saturday. Somebody might need to climb something.
We're not racing, right?
No, we're not. We will be running through the parks on our own way, having some fun. But going back to some of these poolside activities,
yeah, I
will give you $1 million if you can tell me what my favorite poolside game ever was. I don't know any way that you would know this, so I'll just say it. If you can guess it. I'll give you a hint. We were renting DVC. We had the girls with us. We were in the pool playing this game.
Yeah.
Over at the Kidani Village pool.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the game was?
Oh, I don't remember the game, but I remember specifically like we were laying in the pool because it's zero entry.
The cast member had to hold up cards.
I just go ahead and tell me.
Those cards had emojis on them that we had to guess the movie based on the emojis. So they would spell things out. Like it could be, it literally could be a toy plus an open book. Like it was a story and you'd say Toy Story, like example.
Right.
And it was so much fun. I loved that one. And we were literally sitting in the zero entry pool, like being able to sit on your butt and the water's coming up to around your waist area. And
or like lay on your stomach if you were a little bit closer.
And I believe they actually gave us laminated cards to make them waterproof that you were able to
probably
write your stuff on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, some of them we were just shouting out too.
Yeah.
We played quite a bit of stuff there, which we
spent a lot of time. By the pool
I think it was one of those staycations, which we do. And anytime we do a staycation, we always make sure that Jeremy always does all the research to figure out what is going on every single day that we're there. And and then was that the same time we were just kind of looking at the animals and we got this
that was a different
back
trip. That was a different trip, but that was over at Kidani. We were walking over to the Kidani pool area and we were heading down to the pool and a cast member grabbed us, a couple other people that were right there and was like, do you guys want to see something cool? Right?
Yeah, and took us on his back little tour.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Let us in a cast member only gate.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
I was like,
and took
my
us out
God. Like
to
I'm
walk
looking
near
at
the
Jeremy
Savannah
like
area.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
Oh, it was
that
incredible.
So cool. We need to plan a specific staycation. Like we're kind of doing one. We got 3 nights at Saratoga and then the Main Street 16 Challenge. Madness ends and then we got 2 nights at Poly.
Yeah.
And we'll be there with Chuck and Amy and all, but
we need to do our research and we need to do.
I want to spend a lot of time at the resort.
Yeah, that's all we're gonna do.
But we've got a dinner at Cali Grill that's going to take some time. We've got a breakfast at 1900 Park Fair. which take a little time.
And
but
money.
the other times, yeah, I do want to go ahead and look up their activity calendar and I want to do the Kua nut necklaces again. Remember we got to make those
that was
in the
fun.
lobby.
Yep.
Now that was an extra cost, but so much fun. So I'd like to.
We're gonna do our research.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a little bit of a staycation next month at
Amy?
Coronado for a night, but we're gonna take Kaylin and her boyfriend to. Well, the plan is, weather, of course, is to go to Typhoon Lagoon for the day for a little bit, but then spend the whole evening and stuff, potentially there. But you know what? See, we got to go to Disney Springs that night because the new drone show premieres, I believe, May 24th, and we go on May 25th. And so I want to go see the drone show. Just, man. All right.
Hey.
What is something you can get for free at Poly, Grand Flow, Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness, Contemporary Resort every single night?
The electrical water pageant, which you can watch the pageant from viewing spots along the shores of all the locations that Jeremy just said.
Yeah.
Which is super fun. And they go off at different times. So at Polynesian, you start at 9 a.m. 9 p.m. Grand Flow, you move to 9:15. Wilderness Lodge, 9:35. Fort Wilderness, 9:45. And ending at the Contemporary at 10:05.
Amy, write it down. We got to catch this at Poly the one night.
On
one
9
of the nights we're there.
p.m.
Yeah. It is, if you love the electrical, Main Street Parade, this is that on water. This thing has been
awesome.
around forever.
Yep.
I mean, it's been around for decades.
Yep.
And it is about as Disney nostalgic as you can possibly get.
Mm-hmm.
From the lit up old school floats to the music, everything about this is just incredible. And it blares the music from the floats. And I mean, just sitting out, all these really, you're sitting out on a beach type area, other than I guess maybe technically Contemporary, and you're watching this float parade go by.
And
It's
along
so
with this is fireworks.
Yeah.
That they pump in the music as well. So that's something else. And now they go off after, correct? No, before?
No, before, because like right now, so what it should be is, for example, I'm thinking, Amy, write it down, Monday night is that we do, we get a spot on the beach, grab something from nearby Tambu or Captain Cook's and go sit on the beach and get a spot and you watch Happily Ever After at 8:45. And then you follow that up with the electrical water pageant coming by around 9 p.m.
God, that's going to be so nice.
It'd be just so good.
Yes.
So something, if you're into this type of thing, I am not. They do offer fitness and yoga at many of the resorts.
Coronado I've seen as one, like a sunrise yoga.
Yep.
Super cool.
Yeah. We have a cast member friend that was the featured model running. You remember when they first came out with the guide and running around? Because a lot of these will have different trails and all. But they actually do have some yoga courses, like sunset yoga that you can do.
Or sunrise.
Sunrise, I mean. All of these, same thing with that activities calendar. These will be available monthly. So we don't want to give you exact locations and times. They can vary. But look at the magical guides before your trip. As soon as you arrive, ask for an activity guide, and you'll be able to find out if your resort's doing some different fitness and yoga and stuff like that.
Don't write that one down, Amy.
Write it down. We should do it.
No!
Let's do. Have you ever done yoga? It would have had to have been before I met you.
I mean, I probably tried a long time ago, like from a TV or an app or something, but
I was recommended yoga. Doing yoga by one of our friends. I'll tell you off air.
I'm like,
I was texting with her.
You're a very large man, and it would be. I feel like
to do with anything. Have you not watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall? When Jason Segel, who's my same size, he does yoga. One of my favorite
very
scenes,
well.
One of my favorite scenes ever is that yoga scene when he does the handstand and all. But I'm saying, but it's supposed to be really good for you. I mean, I would potentially give it a try.
Okay, you want to do it together, honey?
Yeah, I'd probably just be in the what is it? What's the child's
downward
pose?
dog?
Yeah, I'd probably just be in child's pose the whole time.
Do you think you could do? I think you could do downward dog. Let's go try.
No, isn't that just your
butt up in the air? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I can stand on all fours with my butt in the air. I'm pretty sure I'm capable of that. But, no, we could try it. Put it on the listing. Maybe we will.
Okay.
Sunrise
She's going to
yoga.
laugh at us.
If it's on the beach, that'd be pretty cool.
It's not.
It's not?
Oh.
They do it on the lawn there,
Oh,
don't
on
they?
the Poly.
Poly, I think they do it on the lawn there.
Yes, they do.
That's a great spot for activities.
God, that's nice. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I am too. Transportation is free at Disney, and it can be a lot of fun, right?
Yes, it can.
You've got
especially-
Skyliner, you got boats, you've got the monorail,
Mhm.
the buses even. Just if you're staying at a monorail resort or a Skyliner resort or one of the ones that uses boats, like it's free and it's fun.
It's fun. When we went with Rita, we got her to do all
Mhm.
of them.
We sure did.
Which
Yeah, we
was
did every
super
mode
cool.
of transportation outside of just say a minivan, but that of course is an additional cost.
Right, we did all the free.
We did all the free transportation.
We did.
So if you are going through Main Street Magic Travel, which we highly recommend,
Yes, we
you
do.
book a package. Disney still gives some pretty cool magical extras.
Mm-hmm.
So you will get in the mail usually a bunch of information on this with your luggage tags, things like that. Two of the things that are free that are included, you actually get 4 vouchers per package to play an 18-hole round of miniature golf at one of the 2
Aw.
Disney miniature golf courses.
Fun.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
4 people in your party, that's a free game each. That is completely included.
Mhm.
No extra cost. What you've already spent. Same thing with admission, 4 vouchers per package to the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex there.
Mhm.
Now, there's not always things going on there. I don't know how much of a perk that is anymore because there's not a lot happening there
Right.
the way that there used to be, but you can still go over, you can check it out. Along with that, while these savings are free, but you got to spend money to use them, it comes with a booklet that will save you at places all throughout Disney World, from restaurants and shops, like everything.
Mhm.
10%. I mean, sometimes it's almost like having a little miniature annual pass during your trip.
Yeah.
So packages are really great for that, and those are included. A couple other areas I think that are worth mentioning. Disney Springs
Mhm.
has a ton of entertainment. The boardwalk
Mhm.
area. Both of those have a lot of entertainment that is completely
Mhm.
free to you. And Disney Springs even has free parking as well,
Yay.
which is the reason that they don't run buses from Disney Springs to the parks,
yes.
which stinks. I miss that.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. But Atlantic Dance Hall at Boardwalk,
Yeah, when we went by, it was
completely free.
$22 to get into Jelly Rolls, but it was completely free over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
we
if you're a
should have gone there.
dancer,
I'm just kidding.
if you're a dancer,
No.
that's the place to go. Even better if you're a tiny dancer. Rhonda's a tiny dancer.
no.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of things to take advantage of because obviously Disney is a very, expensive vacation.
Yep.
Everywhere is. But again, tell me right now, if you spend all your money and you go to the beach or something for your family vacation, you're not getting all this stuff included.
That's right.
You're not getting any of it
Nope.
included. So where are you going to, go to the beach and get a Mickey Mouse sticker? No, you're not. You're
Nope.
going to get a I'm celebrating button for free?
Nope.
I don't think so. Free yoga classes? Nope. Might as well just go to Disney World.
Yep.
And since you're doing that, but if you still want to go to the beach, that's okay too. Go to mainstmagictravel.com, fill out a form for a free quote. We are seriously days away from Main Street 16. We are in the final pushes.
Final
Yeah.
countdown.
Da-da-da-da. We really are. And this takes a lot of work to put on. It takes a lot of effort. Everybody who's involved, you know who you are. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Yes.
Everybody who is racing this weekend, thank you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait to see everybody.
I know it's going to be so awesome to see a lot of the folks that are coming. But all of this is for Give Kids the World Village. That is what matters the absolute most. And you can still donate.
Yep.
Go to mainstreet16.com. There is a donate button right at the top. Anything helps. We are very lucky to have a lot of folks that listen to this show. If each of you who is listening right now went to mainstreet16.com and donated $10, that's going to bring in a lot of money to Give Kids the World Village. So if you've already done a donation, if you did the raffle when we had that going on, if you are coming down to be a part of it, if you're coming to trivia, thank you so much.
Yes.
If you've not done any of those because you didn't have an opportunity, seriously, $10 would be amazing. If you can't do that $10, please just share it to everyone you know. Maybe they can.
Yep.
And let's just keep raising money throughout this entire weekend. If you want some extra chances to give, maybe you want to hold off and see what might be coming. Rhonda and I will be in the parks and all around on Saturday, this whole weekend actually. There might be some ways that you can make us do. It'll be almost like choose your own adventure, but they could choose our adventure. So there might be some opportunities for things to happen. Last year I ate a pickle. And
I rode the vomit.
And you rode Astro Orbiter, and none of
Orbiter.
those would have happened if we hadn't raised even more money, because we put a price tag on some things.
Yep.
So there's going to be some of that going on. So keep an eye out. If you want to hold off on donating until this weekend, that's cool. But please, just anything will help. Again, mainstreet16.com. Of course, hit that subscribe button. Get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And Rhonda and I would be super thankful if you could please go out and leave us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.